Hi, Pam Burrows, People Booster here. In my previous video about the psychology of a crisis, I talked about how you prepare, how you act during the crisis, how you have to carry on with your superhero tendencies and the problems that that brings. And then the fourth part of that piece, which is recovery. And that's what I want to talk about now, because that is really crucial right now for so many people and so many organisations. What do we need to recover from? Well, unfortunately, some people are actually recovering from ill health, but for everybody else, there's also some recovery to be done. There is talk of PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, being a huge issue for people of all ages and all situations as a result of the crisis. And one of the things that people are doing right now, I'm hearing a lot of, is saying, I'm fine, yeah, I'm doing okay, because they're just putting a brave face on, they're getting on with it because there's things to be done. So I work with a lot of people who are in human resources, in health and safety, in managerial positions where they're supporting people to keep going and carry on, and they forget about themselves. There is a lot of burnout going on right now, and a lot of people who are feeling irritable, irritated, tempers are short, because people have been on high alert for so long, and that level of tension starts to have an impact. And for all of us that are saying I'm fine, it doesn't take much to scratch beneath the surface and find that, oh well, yeah, I'm not sleeping very well, or well, I'm not eating very well, or I'm not really keeping hydrated, or yeah, I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed. There is that underlying hum underneath everything we're experiencing currently that means our adrenaline and our cortisol, the stress hormones, are at a higher level for a longer period than is healthy for us. So what are we noticing? We are keeping busy, because when we stop, it just feels wrong because we've got so used to being busy and on high alert. There's a lot of people now that are talking about, well, you have to remember what matters, and they're feeling a lack of purpose or meaning to what they're doing, but having to carry on with the work that they're doing and the responsibilities that they've got inside and outside of work. So what do we do? What do we need in recovery? You may be experiencing PTSD. I think every single person across the globe is potentially experiencing PCSD, post-COVID stress disorder. That underlying tension that perhaps sometimes we don't even realise, we don't give credit to. So what do we need to do right now? We need to start acknowledging those challenges, noticing how we're actually feeling, and also noticing those around us, particularly if you're responsible for other people. Managers need to be looking out for the red flags. What is it that's showing that's not okay with people? So I had the privilege of talking to a group of HR professionals this morning, and they were talking about people being very antsy with each other, kind of bickering and arguments and irritations setting up. That is not an issue around poor behaviour in the workplace that needs a disciplinary. That's something which needs the surface taking off so that we find out what's that tension underneath. How can we help people to feel more balanced and connected in the workplace? We've lost, in a lot of cases, that the joy of socialising with our workmates. How do we bring that back into the workplace? We need to start asking some genuine questions. I experienced this last weekend with a very good friend of mine, where we both asked each other the question, but how are you really? And if you ask that question slowly, with meaning and with eye contact, and you wait for the answers, often you'll find out more than you would by saying, how are you today? Or are you all right? Are you all right? Just begs the answer, yep, or I'm fine. So how are you really is a question we need to both ask and wait for the answers to right now. Really important. And noticing what it is that people need to be able to carry on, to support themselves, what self-care needs to be in place. I have a quiz which talks about how it checks out for you how close to burnout you are. So check that out on my website, pamburrows.com, and take the burnout quiz. You might invite your colleagues or people that you're responsible for to take the quiz too, and just see where they are on that traffic light system, because if they're in the red zone, they need to make something happen soon before they frazzle completely. So how do you take time off to reduce those stress hormones, to totally switch off, to get outside in nature so that you're getting pure oxygen into your lungs and some rejuvenation. How are you finding joy? How are you looking after yourself? And how are you doing that for the people around you? So I have some videos on YouTube. If you find Pam Burrows People Booster on YouTube, you can sign up for my channel, find out all the new videos that are coming on there. And there is a playlist on switch off techniques. This is really, really crucial for our recovery from the pandemic and the lockdown situation, because it's about switching off those stress hormones so that you sleep better, wake properly refreshed, and you're ready for the next day, rather than feeling like this is just a interminable hamster wheel that we never get a break from. The other thing that you could do if you're in an organisation, if you'd like me to talk to your people, we can do an online session where I directly get them doing some self-care techniques which will help them to immediately feel better, rejuvenate and get that energy back, and to make sure that they are proactively preventing burnout, looking after themselves, looking after each other, and getting that communicating, engaging, connected culture back into the teams and into the workplace. This recovery is going to take more than a push for productivity. In fact, that's a surefire way for recovery not to happen and for everything to start to fall apart. This recovery has to be about connecting with each other, connecting with ourselves, doing the things that we really need to be nurtured and to feel that the healing has begun from our PCSD situation. So if you'd like to know more, you can email me pam@pamburrows.com. Check out the website for that quiz, and whatever you do, look after your very precious self.